Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's Dan, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. You've just been listening to Alberto Alonso with the show with no name, and now you're here at 8:30 a.m., 22nd of July 2026 with me and Dan live on the ProBoh Show. How are you doing, Dan?
I'm doing well.
Sorry, I didn't prepare, did you? Your microphone. His microphone is pointed at his forehead. It's your least favourite day, but it's the summer, Dan. It's going to be a tough day today. 39 degrees we're going to get to here in Madrid. Some parts of Spain hitting 45 degrees, so do be careful out there if you're listening. Try drink lots of water, stay in the shade, not the shadow. We have two words in English, don't forget, for sombra. Okay, let's get straight into the show, shall we? What's coming up in today's show? We're going to talk about products. Or things. Okay, things and their price. We're going to talk about expense and what is more important, ethics or I don't know, or affordability, I think is what we're going to talk about today. We asked our 100 humans today to name something that's too expensive. Nombra algo que es demasiado caro. And thank you to all you people on Instagram that didn't write everything. Yeah, there were about 4 of you that didn't write everything, so thanks. And unpopular opinion for today is cheap products. Oh, this is a good one, Dan. Cheap products matter more than ethical production. Los productos baratos importan más que la producción ética. There seems to be, well, we'll get into it later, but there is definitely a bias happening. There is some kind of wires crossed because the reality of our situation and what is happening in the market seems to fly in the face of what we actually want and believe. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But first, I'm here, you're here, Dan the Radio Man's here. Our amazing, sexy live audience is here. Our podcast listeners are here. Our analog listeners are here. Oh my God. Let's get into it, friends. First of all, let's turn a weather eye to our friends in the chat. If you want to be as cool, as sexy, as charming, as intellectual, as intense, as influential as our live audience, you can join them. Twitch.tv/professional bohemian. That's twitch.tv/professional bohemian. Or bohemio profesional, pero in inglés. You can also interact with the show outside of our live times. You can do that thanks to me not forgetting to post the poll today. You can do that on my Instagram, which is @professionalbohemian. Or if you're extra specially cool and sexy and charming, of course, you can join me on my Patreon, where you got all the VODs, some original programming that's never been aired before, things that I've been up to. You find all that there. All right. Anyway, let's see what people are saying. Vero's with us. She's the first one to drop a message in our live audience. She says, "Good morning, beautiful bohemians around the universe and beyond. Go to see the Odyssey. It's amazing," she says. Are you going to go see? You said no already, didn't you, Dad?
No, but now I'm considering.
Now there's a lot of positive buzz. Everyone's thinking, oh, the Odyssey sounds good. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Dan.
But the thing that me tira para atrás is that it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, the thing that God, how would you say that in English? The thing that holds me back, perhaps. Yeah, the thing that the roadblock for me, the thing that is holding me back from going is the fact that it's 3 hours long. Yeah, I get you. What is it with Christopher Nolan and excessively long movies? Thing is, it's doing amazing business, isn't it? The Odyssey. It seems to be one of Nolan's best movies. I remember just months ago the online manosphere complaining that there was a black actress playing Helen of Troy. and the transgender actor, what's his name? Who was in Juno and
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page, thank you, Dan. Yeah, all of that chatter's gone now, isn't it? The movie's an absolute unmitigated success, thank God. Yeah, I wanted to go and see it this weekend, but Sophie and I were too tired to do anything. And this coming weekend is full, so I don't know when the hell I'm going to go and watch it, but watch it I will. Thanks for the recommendation, Vero. It was already on my to-do list, but I am going to go get out and see it. Eugene says, hi guys, it's 30 degrees here and it's really hot for us. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, the northern hemisphere just seems to be boiling, doesn't it, right now? Yeah, Spain particularly, up to 45 degrees, dude. God. Bridge is with us. She says, good morning, my beautiful bonny bouncy bohemians, Bouncy Bob and darling dashing dandy Dan the radio man. Although it's his least favourite day. Yeah, true story, it is his least favourite day, but maybe somewhat mitigated by only working a little bit in the office and being able to work from home the rest of it. He's been working hard, actually. It was good. Dan's been producing kids shows. We have camps going on in the summer in this company, in Grupo Vaughan, as you know. And the VIP 14 camps have an element of radio to them, and we turn those into radio shows that we broadcast on a Saturday at 2:30. Dan has been diligently turning those sporadic recordings into radio shows. It was good, the last one, Dan. It was good. Good job, man. Yeah.
Thanks.
I didn't listen to it all, but what I heard was really, really good. So congratulations. Anyway, let's see. Mike is with us, says, good morning, dear Bohemians. I'm going to see The Odyssey tonight on IMAX. Oh, yeah, my girlfriend's Spanish isn't all that good, so I don't think we could go to an IMAX to see it in original version. But I will probably head over to Sol. There is a cinema up there that I regularly go to see original version movies. Artemisa says, good morning, Rob, Dan the radio man, and all the charming, cheerful Bohemians. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you too, Artemisa. Nice to see you. And the Bridge, getting your kiddie kennels together, Rob. Well done. Yeah. I actually have a problem. I wanted to go away this year, but I have no one to babysit my dogs, or as it were, dog sit. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Womp, womp, womp. Maybe I'm staying in Madrid all summer. Oh. Anyway, should we get into some content? I think we probably should. A big good morning to you all, and a nibble of the ear as always. Anyway, I was going to do some British politics, but it seems to be the clamour is that you're not all that interested. I mean, it's hard enough to get people interested in politics from their own country. So yeah, it's probably not a good idea to dive too hard into British comedy. My God, politics. Is there really a difference? So instead, we're going to talk about Jimothy. Does anyone in the chat know who Jimothy is? You know who Jimothy is, right, Dan?
Yes, but I didn't know it was his name.
Okay. It is. What animal is Jimothy?
Raccoon.
A raccoon. Ni velazo, dude. A mapache. If you don't know who Jimothy is, well, Jimothy, let's start at the very beginning, right? It's a weird name. Timothy, Timoth, but with a J. So, Jimothy. Who is Jimothy? Unusually round Seattle raccoon that has captured the hearts of millions online. He's inspired memes, fan arts, even tattoos. I saw today. Unbelievable, man. This is what the internet is for, isn't it? ¿Quién es Jimothy? Un mapache de Seattle inusualmente redondo conquista el corazón de millones en internet y inspira memes y fan art. I know Count Binface, but not Jimothy, says Mike. Freudian slip there, comedy? Yeah. I mean, is there really a difference in England between comedy and politics? There is an interesting show in there somewhere, that the overlap, and there definitely is one. Mike's comment there about Count Binface is a good example of that. But anyway, let's get on with Jimothy, shall we? He has taken the internet by storm. It's weird. 48 hours ago, I had no idea who Jimothy was. And now Jimothy is all over my feeds. And probably from listening to this show, he will appear in yours too. Seattle has found its latest unlikely celebrity, a raccoon called Jimothy, raccoon Mapache. First spotted in Ballard and filmed darting across a patch of grass before climbing a set of stairs, Jimothy quickly went viral thanks to his unusually round body, shortened neck, and distinctive waddling movement. Waddling is a great word. Waddling is how we describe the movement, the walking of a duck. It's when you move characteristically from one side to the other with your footfall. Yeah, to waddle. His appearance has fascinated millions online, with some comparing him to a mythical creature. Jeezy Louise, dude. Is this where we are at as a society? I can't talk about politics, but Jimothy is all over my news feeds. Oh. Experts believe Timothy may have... this is following our conversation, Dan, because we didn't really know what was wrong with him, right? Because there's definitely something wrong with him. Experts believe that Jimothy may have a rare congenital spine condition, possibly short spine syndrome, although he has not been officially examined. Even so, his energy and resilience have impressed wildlife specialists, who say he seems to be adapting well in the wild. Since the video was posted by Seattle resident Kiana Hall, Jimothy has inspired fan art, stickers, merchandise, sightings on security cameras, and even a tattoo, proving that the internet's biggest stars can sometimes be the ones no one expected. I mean, God, you've got to love it, haven't you? What was our last obsession? Wasn't it the monkey, the little monkey that was being bullied? I can't remember his name. Or the baby hippo? Jeez Louise. And now it's a poor little deformed raccoon. Okay, enjoy Jimothy appearing in your timelines, friends. That's my gift to you. Should we continue? I do have more news, but let's be honest, it's only going to be more depressing than the unadulterated joy of a deformed raccoon. So let's go straight to our unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Good morning, KNDY. How are you doing? Thank you for that subscription. Today's unpopular opinion, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because I feel like what we want and what we are getting are two different things. Let me explain. Today's unpopular opinion is cheap products matter more than ethical production. Los productos baratos importan más que la producción ética. What do you think, Dan? How do you think people, first of all, voted on Instagram?
I think they voted false.
The ethical production matters more. Okay. They actually did vote false, yeah. 62% of people voted false, saying no. Ethical production is the most important thing. Which makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Because we don't want to... cost can be defined in several terms. If we think about fast fashion, sure, the cost is low, but the human cost and the environmental cost from burning clothing, dumping unwanted clothing and colorants into water sources, the human cost of young, or, well, I don't want to say slave labor, but, the modern equivalent of the human cost there of the people making those clothes is high, isn't it? But we want our cheap shine goods, don't we? We want to be able to go to a clothing store and not pay out of the nose. It's a great expression there, not to pay too much for our products. It seems to be at every turn we choose the cheapest option, even though we seem to want ethically produced goods. And the thing is, ethically produced goods tend to be quite expensive. So what are we missing here? We're going to talk about this. I think you're a false, right, too, Dan, on this one.
Yes, but I'm thinking about the consumer place.
Yeah, as consumers, we act against our desires. But do we act against our desires because of societal pressure? Because of the flow of water? If you don't buy this shirt, you're never going to get laid. You know? I mean, look, it's not just... fast fashion is probably the easiest example, right? But there are other examples. You know, we buy counterfeit goods, counterfeit watches, trainers, handbags. You know, we replace our mobile phones without needing to, just because there are new models on the market. You know, cheap disposable furniture rather than, you know, properly produced furniture where they replant trees. You know, I don't know. It seems to be we don't act in line with our moral compass. And let's see if we can get to the bottom of that, shall we, today? So let's get into the cons disagreeing with today's unpopular opinion, because that's the way it went on Instagram today. Most people said con, cheap products do not matter more than unethical production. I would ask you, yeah, I'm just reading from Mike here. I just Googled Jimothy and it hijacked the screen. Yeah, if you Google Jimothy, a little animated raccoon will appear on the Google screen. It is it's astounding how this thing has taken over the internet. Have you just done it, Dan?
No, I'm gonna do it.
Anyway, so let's get into the cons, shall we? Saying, you know, cheap products do not matter more than ethical production. Cheapness often depends on hidden exploitation. Very low prices are frequently achieved by reducing wages, weakening safety guards, or shifting production to places where workers have little bargaining power. The consumer saves money because someone else absorbs the human cost. Yeah, and we don't want that. We want to be blind to that at least, don't we? But not every cheap product is exploitative. Let's be clear about that. Efficiency, automation, competition, and economies of scale can reduce prices without necessarily mistreating workers. It's, you know, we have to mention that, I guess. Environmental damage eventually becomes expensive. Cheap goods can encourage disposable consumption, excessive packaging, pollution, and rapid replacement. The immediate price may be low, but society pays through environmental cleanup, resource scarcity, health problems, and climate damage. Yeah. Do you know, Dan, I was watching the news today, right? And I heard Donald Trump. Saying, because he's levying a 50% tariff on Canada because the smoke from Canada's wildfires is bleeding into the northern United States. And he said, this never used to happen 5 years ago. It was never a thing. It was like watching a child slowly creeping towards a little bit of truth. Yeah, Donald. Read again about climate change. You're true. You're right. You're so close, Donald. You're so close. You're right. It didn't happen 5 years ago. Why? Of course, he did say that. He did say that outside Air Force One, his own private jet. But there you go. You know, we can't expect too much of the man. Yeah, environmental damage of, eventually what is cheap to our pockets eventually becomes expensive, doesn't it? Low prices can trap consumers in repeated spending. Cheap products often wear out quickly, forcing people to replace them again and again. A more durable and responsibly produced item may cost more initially, but prove cheaper over its lifetime. Fashion does actually have a word for this. It's called cost per wear. So you buy an expensive pair of shoes, you will keep them for 20, 30 years. At least if your name is Rob. But if you buy cheap clothes, you replace them every year and eventually pay more in the long run. You know, looking at mobile phones. You know, planned obsolescence is actually put into place by the manufacturers quite often. Apple releases a bloated software update, meaning your battery drains faster. You have to get a new mobile phone. Anyway, let's continue. Ethical production protects human dignity. Workers should not be treated merely as a cost to be reduced. Safe conditions, fair treatment, and responsible pay matter independently of whether consumers receive a lower price. Yeah, to offer some kind of rebuttal here, concepts such as fairness and reasonable pay vary across economies, don't they? Imposing wealthy countries' standards to developing countries, you have to consider local conditions, don't you? And, the cost of living in poorer regions. But anyway. Consumer demands shapes business behavior. When buyers consistently reward the cheapest option, companies learn that ethical improvements are commercially unnecessary. Purchasing decisions either reinforce harmful systems or create pressure for better standards. Yeah, let's be clear here, and we're not going to enjoy hearing this, but we are the ones that are shaping the market demand. We want ethically produced things, but we are not demanding it because we are consistently buying the cheaper option. But we're buying the cheaper option, A, I think through maybe societal pressure, and B, just because economically we don't have the means to be able to get organic farmed goods. We don't have the means to buy high quality clothing. We can only afford what we can afford, right, guys? Cheapness can weaken local economies. Extremely low-cost imports can make it impossible for local producers, repair shops, and small businesses to compete. Consumers gain lower prices in the moment, but may lose skilled jobs, community businesses, and economic resilience. I was actually talking to my good friend Fitz about this. You don't see repair shops anymore, do you? When something breaks, we just replace it. That's us, friends. We're doing that. Since when did we become such a disposable society? Interesting. All right, let's get into the pro column. Those people who voted true today, I think it was in the region of 38% of people voted true, saying yes, cheap products do matter more than ethical production. Affordability is a basic necessity. For people on low incomes, price is not a minor preference. It determines whether they can afford food, clothes, household goods, technology, or other essentials. Ethical production means little to someone who cannot afford the ethical version. It's true. Look, I would love to buy organic eggs, ethically farmed bacon, clothing that won't disintegrate within 6 months. I would love to. I simply don't have the money to do it. What are you going to tell a single mother of two? No. Eat less, but eat better, more ethically sourced goods. You going to say that? Is that practical for her? To offer some kind of a rebuttal, cheap goods may only appear affordable because their real costs are pushed onto poorly paid workers, Cost, again, is an interesting word. There is a cost, it's just you don't pay it, you as the individual. Cheap products raise living standards. Mass-produced goods allow ordinary people to access comforts and technologies once reserved only for the wealthy. Affordable appliances, clothing, transport, and electronics can save time, improve safety, and expand opportunity on a huge scale. Yeah. So what we're going to say now, a mobile phone is only for rich people. Only for rich people now, not for the poor. It is an ethical dilemma, isn't it? Which was what makes today's unpopular opinion so difficult to understand. Ethical consumption is often a luxury. People with comfortable incomes can afford to prioritize fair wages, sustainable materials, and responsible supply chains. Asking struggling consumers to pay more can turn ethics into a status symbol for the middle class, while judging poorer people for making necessary choices. Exactly. It's easy to point the finger from a place of extreme comfort, isn't it? It's easy to point the finger at like people from my hometown of Bradford, where wages are low and people struggle. Yeah. We'll finish off with this one. Factories criticised for low wages still offer workers more reliable income than local alternatives. From a comfortable distance, outsiders may condemn these jobs without considering what unemployment, informal labour or extreme poverty would mean for people doing them. All right, there's your unpopular opinion for today. I will post a poll in the chat so you can express your opinion. Obviously, please do as you have done, but write some more comments here. I'm interested in your opinions on this one. Cheap products matter more than ethical production. Los productos baratos importan más que la producción ética. All right, I'll give you 4 minutes to vote while we go on a quick commercial break. I will see you guys in a few short minutes. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. It's now 9 a.m. Central European Time on this, the 22nd of July. It's a beautiful Wednesday out there. Do be careful. We are reaching some extreme temperatures here in Southern Europe. Well, indeed, everywhere. Eugene, our regular listener, joins us from Russia, where it's 30 degrees. So yeah, do be careful out there, guys. Drink plenty of water. Stay in the shade. Anyway, what did you miss if you just tuned in? We looked at the internet's latest love affair. That is a raccoon, un mapache, called Jimothy. A poor creature suffering from like a congenital spine defect. That they have wildlife experts have postulated that it's short spine syndrome. A little round raccoon called Jimothy. And the internet is obsessed. It's spurred on fan art, merchandise, stickers, even tattoos. Would you ever get a tattoo of an internet meme, Dan?
No.
No, me neither. To be honest, I can't see myself ever getting a tattoo, full stop. I like to express my individuality by not having a tattoo. Seems increasingly rare nowadays. Anyway, so we spoke about Jimothy a little while. If you do search for Jimothy, by the way, on Google, he will take over your computer screen as Mike, our beloved Mike in the chat, in our live audience, has just found out. If you want to join Mike and Gigi and Vero and Eugene and Bridge, all of our listeners and contributors to the show, you can do that on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, twitch.tv/bohemio profesional, pero in inglés. All right. You still have time to vote on today's unpopular opinion, which is cheap products matter more than ethical production. It's a tough one today, but you still have now 4 minutes left to vote on that one. A lot of you have. I would ask more of you to do the same. All right, should we get into it? You guys have left a lot of good comments here. It's a tough one. Have we shifted your needle at all, Dan? Are you still a false or?
I mean, I'm still a false, but I have to be sincere that if something is way cheaper and done in a bad way, I will still buy it.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And you know what? You're not alone. And if our listeners were honest, they would agree. In my heart, ethically speaking, I want everything to be ethically produced. Right? I want that. I want that for me. I want that for everyone. But the fact of the matter is, acting as a consumer, I will go for the cheapest thing because it's what I can afford. Is the debate really about I mean, the debate, I think, is really about morality, whether morality can be determined from people whose choices are constrained by money, right? The argument for cheap products begins with material reality, I think. People need goods that they can afford. And affordability can improve health, comfort, mobility, education, independence. From this perspective, condemning cheap production can sound like privileged people protecting moral ideals at the expense of poorer consumers, right? It's easy to point the finger if you've got enough money. If you're not affected by the cost of living crisis that is going on throughout the world, it's very easy to point a finger, isn't it? At poorer consumers. And look, where I can, I do try and act ethically when it comes to shoes, for example. Something that I'll buy once a decade. You know? I don't know. It's a tough one. I mean, ideally, the cost of ethically produced goods would be low, but that's not the case. I mean, in an ideal society, the organic food would be the cheapest. And if you wanted to poison your body, it'd cost you more money to do so. But that's not the case, is it? Hey, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, isn't it, today? Because we're acting maybe against our moral compass, I guess. Let me see what people are saying. Vero here says, true. Unfortunately, nowadays, it's more important to make a profit from the products being sold than to ensure the wealth and well-being of the people who make them. Many of these workers are children living in underdeveloped countries under extreme conditions. Yeah. I mean, here's an interesting question. Is it a question of corporate greed? I'm not sure it is. If something breaks nowadays, Dan, is your first thought, I need to replace this or I need to repair this?
I would say replace it.
See, I'm still very much of my... Because I was raised by my grandparents. My grandfather was a big believer in repairing anything that was broken. So I'm still in the repair category. I'll still have a go at repairing something. And unless my repairing, quite often my repairing usually leads to a catastrophic breakdown and I have to replace it. But sometimes when it comes to computers and things like that, I manage to navigate a fix. And I don't automatically go to replacing something. My initial thought is to repair it. But I think nowadays it's much more common to think, okay, well, time for a new mobile phone, time for a new TV, time for a new computer. And of course, the more digital, the less analog things become, the harder they are to fix, aren't they? I remember my grandfather tinkering away in the garage on the car. To tinker, to fix, to mess with, to, experiment with. He used to tinker away on the car. If it was ever broken, he heard a weird noise. He would go into the garage and open the hood, the bonnet, and he would try and fix the car. Now, as in the immortal words of Donald J. Trump, everything's computer. Dude, Donald Trump needs to come to Vaughan and take English classes. Hey, anyway. So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with what Vero's saying. I agree with it, but I don't act in that way. As a consequence of my economics situation. And I'm sure you're the same. You want ethically produced goods, but your wallet won't allow you to do that. I mean, it's a fact, isn't it, of modern society. And what are we doing? Are we teaching producers or manufacturers that's what we want? I mean, if that's what they're learning, perhaps they're learning the wrong thing because we don't want that. We're forced to do that. Anyway, let's continue. Gigi, good morning, Gigi. Welcome. She says, morning, when your budget is tight, ethics become a luxury. Yeah, amen to that. Can we get a ProBoh approved? Oh, no, we can't.
ProBoh approved.
Thanks, Dan, thanks. But cheap products often involve low wages and exploitation, so I choose false. Affordability is important, but prioritizing it over ethics can perpetuate inequality. So what do we do? What's the solution? Because we demand, and we see it, we demand ethical production, but we refuse to pay the prices. Well, not we refuse to pay the prices. It's just we can't pay the prices, right? Quite often. And I mean, that's not to discount the idea that, we're in more of a disposable society than we ever have been. Electronic waste is piling up to the roof. We persistently replace instead of repair. And then let's not forget the massive amount of pressure put on people to purchase things. I mean, it is a very consumerist society, isn't it? Do you have a summer and winter wardrobe? I just have a wardrobe, friends. Anyway, let's continue. Eugene says, false. We are not so rich to buy cheap things. Yeah, false. K&D. Oh, wait, sorry. I left off Gigi here with just one line. She continues to say, but cheap products often involve low wages. No, we did. We read the whole thing. K&D. How are you doing, K&DY? Thank you for that subscription. Says there could be an alternative thought process that the market is simply too large. There is no option to do things as ethically as we'd like simply because everyone is entitled to product X, Y, and Z. So they have to be produced and manufactured to a certain quality, focusing on availability. Wow. ProBoh approved for K&D, please. Amazing. Yeah.
ProBoh approved.
I like that. It continues, also something to consider, not all ethical products are actually ethical. They're oftentimes called that simply for marketing reasons. Oh, God. Marketing. Did we do it on a show once, Dan, that marketing is morally repugnant or something like that? I don't know. Anyway, we should if we haven't. I'll search in the ProBoh catalogs to find out. But yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right. Quite often, something isn't ethically produced or isn't as organic as you're led to believe, but that sticker is placed on the item just so you can raise prices a little bit, so you can create more shareholder value. That's what we're here for, friends. Unless you are one of the shareholders, then it's to accumulate wealth, isn't it? The Bridge says, no, ethical production matters most. I admit I'm a hypocrite. More transparency would be a way of cracking down on unethical practices. Yeah. I mean, I admit I'm a hypocrite as well on this one. As with many things, I want animals to be treated with a great amount of respect. However, here I am eating meat, So yeah, I am with this as with many things, quite the hypocrite as well. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue. Also something, we read that one. All products should be ethical. If the ones that don't respect human rights and damage the planet were banned, by supply and demand, the price of some goods, some of the good ones would be lower. Yeah. Yeah, the market would organize it. So yeah, maybe that's the solution, Mike. Maybe the solution, that was Mike, by the way, Mike Warrior. Maybe the solution is not just to demand, legislate, put into action our demand for ethically produced products, and then let the market and competition bring down prices. But right now, we can barely afford to pay our rent. I worry, what worries me right now, Dan, is we're going to hit 45 degrees in some parts of Spain today. And you know what is one of the most expensive things? Electricity. Yeah, to power your home. And those air conditioning units that are becoming even more important nowadays. Yeah, and let's not even get into the environmental costs of air conditioning. I mean, it is a constant tug and pull and push of our what we want morally and what we can afford and what we need, and that dichotomy is that constant battle inside us is a difficult one, isn't it? I did get some comments on Instagram. I have to get to those relatively quickly. I won't do as many as I normally do, just because of time constraints. Tobias, Tobias says, for a lot of families, affordability isn't a preference, it's a necessity. Cheap products have a much bigger impact on daily life than people with disposable incomes sometimes realize. Yeah. Yeah, if you have enough money to put money aside every month, then you're thinking, well, no, look, it's no effort to shop ethically, is it? It's no effort. You're just lazy. You just don't want to do the homework. And that's not the case. You don't realize. Isabel said, I don't agree. If we always choose the cheapest option, someone usually ends up paying the real cost. She continues, but to sum up, like through poor wages or unsafe working conditions. Yeah, there is always a cost. The product is always expensive, but maybe not expensive for you, the end user. It's the cost could be, poor wages or unsafe working conditions for those producing it. The cost could be environmental. The cost could be a whole host of things. In the case of fast fashion, all of the above. Milos says it's easy to prioritize ethics when money isn't tight. Most people choose what they can afford, not what makes them feel virtuous. Yeah. But we are, I mean, there is another side to this debate that isn't about cost. And you're not going to want to hear this, but that's what I'm here for. We buy too much crap, don't we? Not because we want to, but because we're told, we're led to believe that status and happiness are linked to the products we own. When the reality is the things we own usually end up owning us, don't they? Oh, buy this, buy that. Do you love your kids? Buy them a chocolate egg. Amelie says, I think both matter, but if ethical products are priced beyond most people's budgets, they stop being a realistic choice for the majority. Yeah, we're all singing the same hymn sheet today. But let's see how the vote shook out, because that's really where we're going with this one. Before we go, let's very quickly read Artemisa's thoughts here. She says, the very cheapest products are more likely to involve unethical production, but an expensive price tag still doesn't guarantee the workers were fairly paid. The solution may lie in greater transparency indeed, as the Bridge says. Yeah, I agree with the Bridge here. But you know what my thoughts go to whenever I hear greater transparency? I think about the vegan movement to push under everyone's noses the horrific conditions in many farms, factory farms. And if you're like me and you're a person who I'll be fair. To be fair, I enjoy eating meat. Well, what do you want me to say? So I get a little bit annoyed seeing that kind of thing. And I am aware of the horrific treatment of animals. And yeah, again, I'm a big fat hypocrite. What do you want me to say? So what are we supposed to do? I mean, greater transparency doesn't necessarily mean people will watch or be open to what is transparently open to them. I mean, if we've learned anything recently, it's that once indoctrinated into a certain belief, anything counter to that becomes insulting. It's an emotional reaction, not a logical one, isn't it? Which makes today's topic so damn hard. Let's get to the results of the poll. Thank you. A lot of you voted today. I really appreciate that. Okay, so let's get into it. I made the statement that cheap products matter more than ethical production. And you guys said 57% false. Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. Like, I want everything to be ethically produced. I really do. And I wish we didn't have to make the choice with our wallets. But that's, we can only purchase what is accessible to us to purchase. And the whole picture is not the whole picture is not, well, don't buy an iPhone, buy more expensive eggs. Because the power and persuasion of modern marketing is immense, much more than when I was a kid. Cheap products can improve lives, especially when every euro matters, but a low price is not proof of low cost, is it? The strongest system is not the one who asks struggling consumers to sacrifice more, I think, nor the one that treats exploited workers as the price of affordability. It's the one that makes decent production ordinary enough that ethics no longer has to be purchased as a luxury. As Mike said, every product should be ethically produced. Anyway, you know what Grandpa Bo would say about all that, right? He'd say, Rob, those are just opinions. And opinions, they're like buttholes. Everyone has one. They all stink, including mine. Let's move on to today's 100 Humans. Oh my God, it's time for today's 100 Humans. It was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys. And on that walk, I encountered 100 humans and I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name something that's too expensive. Nombra algo que es demasiado caro. I asked them that question, they gave me their answers. I'm in possession of the top 7 answers. Your job in the audience is to identify those top 7 answers. All right. Let's go. What do you think, Dan?
A house.
A house. Yeah. Famously now, isn't it? Vivienda, housing. Is a house there or housing? Of course it is, Dan. Well done. A house is expensive. 37 of 100 humans said that. And it's the number 1 answer. Yeah. God, I would have loved to have owned my own home. Yeah, well done, Dan. Number 1 answer. Killed it straight out of the gate. Mike says the rent. The rent is too damn high. Is rent there? Alquiler. Yes, it is. Jeez, especially if you live in Madrid, man. Holy cow. Well, Madrid, Barcelona, any big city. But let's not kid ourselves. Like, I was looking to purchase a house in Galicia, and they've almost doubled in price, I would say. That's my feeling. I don't know if that's the reality, but they seem to have doubled in price. It's crazy. I'm looking at K and DY's answers. Anyway, life, I think Artemisa means here. Life is too expensive. It is. Yeah, like 90% of the people on Instagram all said everything or some variation of that. Anyway, let's continue. Concert tickets, says Gigi. Concert tickets. God, yes. True story. That's why I only got festivals now. Is concert tickets there? It's a great answer, but no, it's not. Electricity. Well, Vero said housing. We covered that one. Electricity, says the bridge. Is electricity there? Electricidad. Yes, it is. Well done. Well done, bridge. 22 of 100 humans said electricity. It's the number 2 answer. KND says fuel. Combustible. Fuel. Is fuel there? Yes, it is. Well done. I think when we say fuel, we really mean gasolina. Big fan of that kind of music as I am. Yeah, fuel is there. Well done. 16 of 100 humans. Third most popular answer. Cars, says Gigi. Is cars there? Coches. Yes, it is. Well done. My God, you're on fire today, guys. Cars is there. 5 of 100 humans said that. 6th place. Electric cars, says Eugene. True story. Cocaine, says K&D. Cocaine's too expensive. Jeez Louise. Inflation. Mike says groceries. Groceries. Compra del supermercado, right? It's groceries. Is groceries there? Yes, it is. Well done. That's 4 of 100 humans who said 10 of 100 humans. It's in 4th place. There's just one more left to get. So let's very quickly dig into our friends on Instagram. Second-hand tickets, or scalped tickets or resale tickets, says Carlos. Hermes products, says Emily. What do Hermes make? Or Hermes? Isn't it a handbag or shoes or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. That's from Emily. Thanks for that. iPhone, says Tigre Devil. Never owned one, but I did own all 3 Yota phones that were made for better value. Got you. Ivan says seafood. To get divorced, says Juan Arreo. Yeah, it's expensive. It's exactly half. There you go. That's how much divorce costs. Anna Kassan, nowadays almost everything is too out. I'm going to try and leave out all the everything answers. Pilar said everything as well. Jewel, says Ivan GP. Let's see what people are saying. Concert tickets, says KND. I'm going to see a band next month that hasn't been relevant for 20 plus years, and they still want 120 euros a ticket. Jeezy Louise. Phone contracts, why it's becoming more expensive to pay for a month of data than it is for a week's worth of groceries. Yeah, true story. Keeping a pet. All right, well done, guys. You did really, really... Hermes, ties and men's wallets and men's shirts. Thank you, Artemisa. Children... Eugene says children. Perfume, says Gigi. All great answers, but there's one you didn't get. We have to go through the list. All right, I asked 100 humans to name something that's too expensive. Nombra algo que es demasiado caro. In position number 7, we had restaurants. That was the one we missed. Restaurants are too expensive. 3 of 100 humans said that. 7th place. In position number 6, we had cars. Coches, cars. 4 of 100 humans said that. In position number 5, you got this one. Rent. Rent. 6 of 100 humans said rent. In position number 4, groceries. Rent, alquiler. Groceries is compra del supermercado. Groceries, 10 of 100 humans. In position number 3, fuel, combustible, gasolina. Petrol in the UK, gas or gasoline in the US, 16 of 100 humans. In position number 2, electricity, electricidad, la luz, as you say here, 22 of 100 humans. And finally, in position number 1, housing, vivienda. Well done, guys. Other great answers: healthy lifestyle, education. Those are from Eugene. Sad but true. But guys, that's the end of today's show. I'll see you next time.